We got ourselves another survivors kind of game today called Monsters Are Coming Rock and Road. I must be in the mood for these lately the way I've been trying to fill the void that Ball Pit left, but this isn't about Ball Pit. Not yet anyways, but getting into it. As of writing this, I have about 11 hours in the game, but it is one of those with a lot of things you can accomplish, so I could play much more. I do have a few cities left to unlock and tons of other collectibles still, but I doubt I'll really sink too much more time into it, and we will get to why here in a second. So I'm going to start here with the muddy parts, but bear with me. This game has a bit of an identity crisis, and I think every complaint I have stems from that fact alone. It's a survivors type kind of bullet hellish, horde fighting, one lane tower defense game. You have different cities you start with, and each of them have different attributes, and as you collect XP, you can build towers and support buildings onto the city as it makes its way down the lane towards the goal. You also are running around with this hero character, fighting the hordes, collecting resources, and defending the town. Right there you may see that it's trying to do a lot of different things, and it does most of them good, but not great. Something in the balance of all of this feels off, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I understand how difficult it is to juggle all of these elements, but that's precisely why you don't want to add too many elements to games. It's difficult to find balance. See, you have to run out and fight, and chop trees down, and collect stones and compasses, and kill enemies, and return all this stuff to the tower. The tower does help do damage, and you can get minions that help collect and fight, but most of the time it feels very hard to focus on something. With this city, it can feel like there are too many options. You can certainly pick a direction, but there's so many support buildings and so many attack options and limited space that it can feel a little hard to get a build or proper synergy really spun up before the level's over. This is especially prominent for your hero, as you get 4 weapons, but there aren't many avenues for leveling more than 1 or 2 of them up in any significant way. The worst part of that is that this game relies entirely on percentage-based upgrades for both the towers and the hero. This is a very uninteresting way to handle this kind of genre. A lot of the fun in these games comes from the weird build combos and having things like a lightning strike chain to 3 enemies and spinning blades do fire damage now or create little tornadoes. Obviously I'm just spitballing, I don't make games, but if we for a minute take a look at Ball Pit, which I recently did a video for, the combinations in weapon upgrades and passives are all super interesting and all add to the combat in a fun way that you can experiment with. Just getting plus 10% damage, plus 20% attack speed is just not interesting, and it leads to very repetitive gameplay. All of the percentage-based stuff should be saved almost strictly for meta progression, in my opinion. Which brings me to my final gameplay point, and that is that this game is good and is fun to play for a while. However, it gets stale way before it should. The meta progression is kind of slow, and with that, runs start to feel really uninteresting after a while. I just don't see myself returning to play this much more, but again, it is enjoyable for a while, but it does have problems for me. That being said, it's only $8.99. I'm not trying to sound like I'm just shitting on the game, but I want to be honest about it, and if you watch my video and decide to buy it, I want you to know exactly what you're getting. It is a good game, and that's it. It's not mind-blowing. It's probably not going to work its way into your top spot, but it will give you a few hours of fun, that is for sure. This game does have nice environments, so although it is a one-lane kind of game, it has interesting levels with nice-looking graphics. Because you have to venture outside of what would just be the straight lane, it feels like the levels have a little more depth to them than some other games of the same kind. I really do like the art direction, and that is something that they nailed for sure. There are only 4 different levels that I'm aware of at this time, but they look great. I love the visuals. The sound design is solid, some of the music was mildly annoying, but for the most part I didn't have any complaints in this department. Overall, Monsters Are Coming Rock and Road is a solid game for the price. It's not mind-blowing, it isn't genre-defining, and that's okay. Not every game needs to be. I think it's a little grindy, the meta progression seems like it would take ages to get through, even on hard and expert. The percentage-based upgrades are a little boring, and the runs start to feel a little too repetitive, but for the price, and if you like this genre of game, you'll get some enjoyment out of it, and you can move on when you feel you've had enough. Nothing that I have complaints about can't be fixed with some polish and a few new ideas. I think they can make this game a banger. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. If you're still here, thanks for watching. Please drop a like on this video and consider subscribing. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next time.